Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. In today's video, I'm continuing my series on reviewing all the Harry Potter movies and ranking them. And this time we're on the second movie and second book, which is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So definitely one that I really enjoyed and really love to talk about. So here are my thoughts here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well here on a Friday kind of evening. And yeah, coming back to Harry Potter. Thanks to my friend Briar from Briar's Music Showcase. He was the one who recommended this series to me to go through. And I'm a big fan already, so it was pretty easy to get through the Harry Potter because I have all the books and all the movies and watched them many times, read the books many times anyway. But yeah, so we're on the second movie, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The book, I got the book here, by J.K. Rowling, came out in 1998. It's about 251 pages, so again, not too big, pretty easy to read, to get through, not very long, kind of similar to the first book in that sense. Of course, huge hit, another #1 on the New York Selling and all these awards, as they put it in the back here, all these different awards they have. Obviously, continuing on the greatness of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. The movie itself came out in 2002, and here's the movie I got, the Blu-ray there. So I believe the first one I said came out in 2001, so this is a year later. So they're putting them out pretty quickly, which is nice. Again, this movie is directed by Christopher Columbus, who directed the first movie. It's the only two that he directed, and it works pretty well for him. Like I said, he definitely is a family kind of director, I would say, and he's good at directing kids. And so this being the youngest of the Harry, the kids are the youngest here. They're supposed to be 11 and 12 years old. Definitely works very well, and I feel like these two are more family-friendly films. They are somewhat more easier to watch probably with a family. I feel like they get a little bit darker in the third movie on, both in the way they look and the subject matter. But yeah, so it's still one that feels like it's really good during Christmas time. I don't know why these work really well during Christmas time, as they do talk about Christmas somewhat as well. Anyways, but yeah. So we got the writer, Steve Kloves, writing the screenplay again. Does an amazing job here, as he did with the first movie. And so, of course, we bring back the main cast from the first movie. Sorry. I mentioned them in the first video. So in each video, I'm going to talk mostly about cast members I haven't talked about or new cast members. So some that have been back but I didn't talk about last time. I want to talk about Julie Waters coming back as Mrs. Weasley. She had a small part in the first movie. She has a bigger part in this one, and of course she has a pretty good part in all the movies. And Julie Walters, great job as Mrs. Weasley. I do love Mrs. Weasley. It's a fun character. And that goes along with Mark Williams, who plays Mr. Weasley, Ron Weasley's parents. And of course, he has a big family. And I love the whole Weasley family. Of course, the twins are hilarious. As I don't know if I talked about them last time, but I do love the two twins there. And yeah, Mark Williams does a really good job as Mr. Weasley. And there's a good comic dynamic between Julie Waters and Mark Williams that I really enjoy. Then we got Bonnie Wright, who plays Ginny Weasley, who had just a brief was in it briefly in the first movie. She's in school this time around. First time she was too young to go to school. So this time she does have a pretty big part in this one as well. And she would have a major part going onward. And Bonnie Wright would play that character, Ginny Weasley. Also, Tim Felton, I didn't talk about last time, but he plays Draco Malfoy, who's a major character and major antagonist, I would say, of Harry Potter, his rival in the school. And the whole Malfoy family is like terrible, and he's a terrible kid, and Tom Felton does a pretty good job with that. As far as like newer characters, we get Jason Isaacs in here, who plays Draco's father, Mr. Malfoy, who's, again, great casting. Jason Isaacs does an amazing job here. Jason Isaacs, if you don't know, man, he's a great British actor, but he's good at playing villains, I feel like. I see him playing pretty good villains here and there anyways, but really good actor here. Does a really good job with Malfoy. Also got Toby Jones, does the voice work for Dobby, Dobby's a new CGI kind of character and kind of first elf character that we see, of course. And again, plays a pretty major part throughout the movies. This one maybe is in the most, as he comes even from the very beginning onward. And I like Dobby. Dobby, I can see can be annoying to some people, but I overall kind of enjoy Dobby. And it's kind of crazy that Toby Jones is doing the voice, because I've seen him in many movies. Really good actor, really good British actor. And he never talks, his voice doesn't talk like Dobby. So pretty good work there for Toby Jones. But yeah, I enjoyed Dobby in this. And we'll talk about him, of course, in later movies. And then maybe my favorite new character is Kenneth Branagh's Professor Lockhart. I believe his name is Lockhart. One of my favorite characters. It's his only movie he's in, and it's one of my favorite characters throughout the Harry Potter series. Every time he's on screen, it's great, and he's hilarious. Probably the funniest character that made me laugh the most. I love how egotistical he is, how, he's supposed to be, he has this reputation of being like this great wizard warrior kind of thing who fought, monsters and stuff, and banshees and all this. And also he wins the Smile of the Year or something like that. and he's all about how like good looking he is, and he loves looking at himself. And I love when he looks at himself in a picture, and he just like, hey there, and they just kind of wink at each other, like, because his picture of him is also egotistical, and so they kind of share that. And yeah, oh man, it's just a great character. Yeah, I said provides some of the greatest laughs of the whole series. Too bad it only lasted one movie, but definitely loved him as the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, who's obviously very incompetent. But yeah, so yeah, great new cast here. Movie, of course, did very well. Domestically grossed $262 million. Lower than the first movie, but still very good. And worldwide, gross was $925 million. The first movie made $1 billion. So this is under $1 billion, but still very, very good. I mean, these movies just crush at the box office, obviously. They really reached a really big fan base and made new fans out of me anyways. As I said in the first movie, actually, I saw this back to back basically with the first movie. I talked about how I didn't watch any of the movies, or I didn't watch the first two movies when they came out in theater. I wasn't reading any of the books, really didn't know that much about Harry Potter until my mom and my younger sister watched it during Christmas or around holidays, I think, and taped it on TV, and I went and watched both of them back to back basically. And yeah, and really was liking the first one. I like this one even better than the first one, actually. And this is one of my favorite, actually, of the Harry Potter series once I get to ranking them. Always a big fan of this. And the first time, man, really hooked me. Really surprised me. It had some really good, I guess I'll get my positives here in a little bit, but I'm just saying, man, it had some really good twists that really surprised me and I didn't see coming, and totally blew me away. I love the story overall, and I love coming back to Hogwarts and, learning more about everything. And the whole storyline I thought was fantastic. And I think it's maybe the funniest out of all. I'm trying to think on top of my mind. It feels like it might be the funniest out of the Harry Potter movies. And like I said, most of that's because of Lockhart. I think his name's Lockhart. I hope I'm getting that right. I'm saying Lockhart or Lockwood. I think Lockhart. But anyways, he is absolutely hilarious. I love, and I'm going to spoil, so just beware. I'm going to spoil this movie / book to talk about why I like it so much. But I love, like, at the end when he has his memory erased, his memory gets erased, and so he doesn't understand, where he's at or the Wizarding World or anything, and they have to fly out, and it ends with him going, "It's just like magic," and it's like, oh, it makes me laugh every time I see that. Maybe my favorite part of the whole thing, but in like the part where they have to duel, and he's got a duel with Snape, and of course Snape takes him out, and then he's like, well, I was being easy on Snape, if I really wanted to, that would have been easy to counter attack that charm or something, and Snape just look at him like, whatever, like, we know you're full of it. So many great moments like that. You get the whole spider scene with Aragon and them getting chased. That was a pretty cool scene overall. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, and yeah, I have to get into my positives here, I guess. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a great story. Really good from the first one. and a great ending to it as well. And so I'll get into my positives. I'll talk more about what I love about this movie and about the book. Book is great too as well. Really enjoyed the book. So going to my first positive again, same as the first movie. It was a great adaptation, and a lot of that is because of how short this book is. It does make it easier, I think, to adapt a movie, and you include everything that's major that you need. Plus, you can put in some side stuff that you maybe don't need to fill out time and still be great and fun, and all that. Because a lot of times you adapt books into movies, you have to cut out so much of the book, or take out some characters and add new ones to or combine characters, I should say, into one character or whatever. And as a book reader, of course, you're like, you get disappointed sometimes, but you're like, I understand it's a movie. They have to make changes like that. But they do a pretty good job where they make a couple changes, but nothing hurts the overall story. But yeah, that's great. As I said, positive, really funny movie. Really enjoyed it for that. Third positive, I love the new characters. Like I said, Dobby. Again, Dobby's pretty funny at times as well, and his interaction with Harry. And you must not know very many good wizards or something like that. I don't. And then starts hitting himself. Some good moments like that. Like I said, yeah, Lockhart. I wrote, okay, Gilderoy Lockhart. Yeah, I wrote it down right. Yeah, I said, love that character, love the Quidditch, and I love the scene where he says he can fix his arm, and he's like, no, please don't. Like, everybody knows this guy is like not legit, even though he's there's all this writing about all the great stuff he did. And he's like, oh, please don't, because he broke his arm. He's like, oh, no, it's okay. And then he does a spell, and it takes out all the bones, and then he starts flopping around. He's like, it's like, well, I did fix it. You're not hurting anymore, something like that. And the bone's not broken anymore, something like that. And Hagrid's like, there's no bone there, So many great stuff like that. And then also Malfoy was a great kind of new villainous character thrown in here. So yeah, new character is great. Big positive from the first movie. My biggest negative of the first movie is the CGI was really terrible. Really took me out of some scenes of the first movie, and it was kind of shocking how bad it was. CGI is very much improved in this one. It's not perfect yet, I think, but the Quidditch scenes look way better. They don't look so CGI'd and takes you out of the movie and look so fake, I guess, saying. So yeah, and then we got the spider scene where these big spiders are chasing them, and it works very well. I didn't think the CGI worked pretty good for the most part. And then we get the basilisk at the end, which I think actually works very well. It looked like maybe there's some practical effects in there along with CGI, but overall it didn't take me out of the movie. I kind of was able to believe that it was a big giant snake thing, attacking Harry Potter and all that. So yeah, so that definitely a big improvement there. One of my favorite parts of the book and the movie is more world building of this world. And I love how each book, I feel like in movie, it takes back the curtain and you see a little bit more how the world works. In the first movie, you just get a very glimpse of like how this Wizarding World works and how it's different. In the second, how it's different than, human beings and live, comparatively. And with each book, and including this one, I think does a really great job of you learning a little more about the past and about, everything. One of my favorite scenes is when they learn about the Chamber of Secrets, and in the movie, Hermione asks McGonagall about it anyways, and she tells the whole history of the four wizards of the four houses, of Gryffindor and Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. They're four like major big wizards that came together to form the school. And so that was kind of cool because I knew like, okay, you have the different houses, but I didn't put together that, oh, those are like the four different wizards that created the school. So that was kind of cool to learn about that. And that Slytherin was evil from the beginning, which was like, why did they ever let Slytherin in? And like, he's evil. Everybody that comes out of Slytherin's evil. All the dark, wizards, including Voldemort and Death Eaters, are all Slytherin. So like, why do we have this? So anyways, it's like having like the Nazi party, in Congress or something. It's like, why would we allow them in? Anyway, so But that was interesting. The book is even better, I think. It's not McGonagall, but it's like a ghost who teaches history. And it's a history class, and he tells the history of Hogwarts. Really great in the book and in the movie. Really love all that world building and how Slytherin, the whole story of him, this secret chamber, who has this basilisk, who he can only Slytherin can open it because he can speak Parseltongue, which we find out all about Parseltongue, which is something we didn't really know, except we knew Harry Potter can talk to snakes, but we didn't know that was a big deal until this one. And then that was kind of interesting to find out, oh, it's not common and it's not a good thing to talk to snakes. That's because Slytherin did that and Voldemort did that. And so if you can talk to snakes, you might be like related to Slytherin or Voldemort. And so that kind of, brings a lot of contention there, which I thought was interesting. Again, interesting world building history, behind all that. It was a very cool thing to find out, And yeah, so I love all that. And yeah, that there's this chamber, and who's the mystery of who, the only descendant of Slytherin basically can open this chamber. Now the chamber's been open like 50 years later or something like that, after the first time it was opened, or not the first time, but the last time it was opened, and a student got killed, and then yeah, and that they're trying to figure out who is the heir of Slytherin, whatever. So that was all a very interesting storyline and mystery, and gives you a lot of backstory. And especially Hagrid, we get a backstory on Hagrid and why he's the groundskeeper or whatever, and what happened. He was in Hogwarts and got expelled and all that. Again, sorry, I'm spoiling everything, but hopefully you've seen the movie or read the book. Yeah, that was really interesting there, learning with that. And then, of course, we learned about this Tom Riddle character who we don't know anything about, and that was interesting. And that goes into my last big positive, and the whole mystery, the whole third act dealing with Tom Riddle. That's what I really loved about this movie, why it's one of my favorite out of the series, is I had no idea Tom Riddle, and here I'm spoiling your thing, so beware. Tom Riddle is Voldemort back when he was in school. And I had no idea Tom Riddle was Voldemort. I didn't guess that. And we have the whole book thing that is like this book who's Harry Potter's writing in, and it shows him like the past. Like that's all, again, love all that, the whole history. And we learn about there's this guy named Tom Riddle, but we don't really know what the significance of everything is. And then at the very end, we find out Tom Riddle, takes his name, Tom Mulville, River, whatever. He takes his first, middle, last name, and then switches all the letters around, and it spells out Lord Voldemort. And that scene shocked me when I first saw it, and I was like, "What? Wait a minute!" Like I had no idea who this Tom Riddle guy was. And you go, "Oh, he was Voldemort back when he was in school, and he had a regular name. Tom Riddle was his." His normal name, I guess, and he made up the Voldemort name, and of course changed quite a bit at that point. And he was just a good-looking, normal kid, kind of, all that. And so, yeah, I love the whole mystery, love that reveal. It was absolutely amazing that he's the one who's been opening through the book. He's able to open the chamber secrets, and the basilisk is what's stunning people and all that. And then also the mystery of Moaning Myrtle, which again, my negatives a little bit. One of my main there's not too many negatives. I said this is a really good movie. If I'd say there's a negative, I'd say Moaning Myrtle is a little bit of a negative, just because she was a really annoying character. But I think that's what she's supposed to be. She was kind of written that way, and the actress who plays her just really dialed it up to 10 on the annoying level in there. But the whole mystery behind Moaning Myrtle, though, is actually very fascinating, because that's another good twist where I was like, oh, I didn't know she played a factor. I thought she was just an annoying character that they brought in. But that's what's so great about J.K. Rowling. It's such a good writer, is how she takes seems like a minor character, and then you find something major about her that's significant to the whole plot. Like, I thought that was really cool. Though my negative is just that I didn't care for that character too much. She makes these really annoying noises, and she cries, and anyways, interesting. The actress who plays Moaning Myrtle is like, I think she's like in her 40s or something like that. And yet she's playing like a teenager. So it was interesting that they were able to do that, since she's a ghost or whatever, But that she was like she was the victim. She was a student who died like 50 years ago, and she still haunts the bathroom because that's where she died. And so that was an interesting reveal, and all that happened there. But yeah, I don't know if I said enough about, that's my negative, but just going on with the positives. Yeah, I just love the whole story and all the reveals. And the very ending was just really great. I love the whole basilisk scene, chasing Harry Potter and how he gets out of that and eventually defeats Tom Riddle. It's just really good story writing, obviously because of the book, but also adapted very well and did an excellent job adapting a really good book. Anyways, and that's what you need to do. If you have a good book, just adapt the material. Don't add your own political stuff into it, as a lot of people do nowadays. But going on with negatives, I mean, I put down Quidditch as a little bit of negative. I mean, in the first two movies, we get introduced to Quidditch in the first movie, and Harry plays a seeker for the Gryffindor team, whatever. And this one, we get another Quidditch scene. Quidditch, to me, it's a stupid sport. It makes absolutely no sense. You catch the snitch and you win the game. So it's like, what's the point of trying to score goals when you just need all you need to do is catch the snitch? It's a really weird scoring system. I don't know I wish it was better. And again, that's because J.K. Rowling wrote it that way. So that's my negative. I think that was very smart, the whole Quidditch rules. And the Quidditch scenes aren't the most interesting to me. They're okay, but I put them a little bit of a negative. Like, I don't care about the Quidditch stuff. I care more of the stories and stuff. Then the third negative I put in here is the Polyjuice Potion scene. I didn't really care for that much. Polyjuice Potion is very important. It takes an important place throughout the movies. So he had to introduce it here, and that's how they introduce it. So I get that. The whole scene, though, just to me was maybe the least interesting scene of the whole movie, in my opinion, because they become Crabbe and Goyle, and they go, because they're trying to figure out if Draco's the Slytherin heir, and they really learn nothing through the whole thing. So it seems like a waste of time, and they learn nothing through it. But I guess it's there to introduce us to Polyjuice Potion, which will become a bigger deal in the later books and movies anyways. But so the negatives aren't that negative. They're just I feel like I had to put something in there because I'm doing positives and negatives for each thing. So a little bit of a negative, but the negatives are not that bad. It doesn't ruin the movie at all. And positives outweigh it to overall one of my favorite of the series. Really, really good movie and book, of course. Anyway, so yeah. So that's my mini review, I guess, of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Please comment what do you think about this movie or book. Where do you put it in your the Harry Potter series? Is it your least favorite, in the middle, whatever? Love to read your comments on this. And just thank you everybody for watching this. Thank you for everybody who's liking the video. Thank you a lot to Briar. Definitely check out Briar's channel, Briar's Music Showcase. I've been with him like 3 times this last week on different live streams. So we've been streaming a lot together this last week, and it's been a great time spending with him anyways. Always enjoy being with Briar and talking about music mostly. And yeah, so definitely give him some love. And just thank you to all my subscribers for supporting this channel. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a good day.